dynamic where I find that like learning I'm going to say it, skillful mechanical character really does carry over. Like even if it's like a completely different playstyle, right? Like you look at how like a Zenyatta positions versus how like a Doomfist positions, it is night and day, but you know, taking angles, taking sight lines, doing damage, applying pressure. I mean, it's just how Overwatch works with any character, with most characters. So, you know, I think like that's going to be good to see. So, okay, let's jump right into it right now. So because this is our second session and because we have a replay code wipe in about an hour, I want to play it safe here and jump right into the replay review if that works for you.
Yeah, so I already went ahead and recorded
Oh, you're just a
because
wizard.
I wasn't sure if you were experiencing like the replay bug or whatnot.
Yeah, I am. I mean, it is what it is, but the which one do you want to start with here? Let's start with that really fast.
Let's see. So I had a notes. All three of them were close
Yep, I'm seeing these.
losses. I would say either the Circuit Royale or the Eichenwald.
Okay.
I feel like both of them kind of played well.
Sure.
I did end up I kind of threw the Circuit Royale one at the end.
Happens. Let's do a replay code check in this one because some of them about 25. Yeah, okay, so this one's a bad one, so we'll have to not skip around with it. But yeah, some of the codes worked fine, but again, this will be the last VOD review with the bug, hopefully. Okay, questions since last time. As well, I'm kind of restarting here. Any questions about Doomfist or just general play since we last spoke?
Nothing in particular. I think the replay code will help kind of
Right.
identify some of them. Like, because one note I've made is because I went through some of like your backlog of Doom coaching.
Been a lot of Doomfist
One thing
recently.
I noticed, just kind of brute forcing main choke and like going for like the big 5-man punches and nothing really dying and too focused on tank trading instead of like taking off angles and
Right.
setting up for backline.
Okay, sounds good.
So that's kind of one thing that you may notice as well.
Okay. As questions come up, just let me know. It's no problem, and we'll be good to go here. So big thing with Doom is off angles, like with any mobile character, really with any character at all. But the really fun thing about Doomfist is, this is just overextension with where your team is. Like it's fine to start here, but if things get really tradey here, you just need to get out like as quickly as you can because your team isn't contributing at the same point in time, right? So just a goofier. But
I can't. Wait.
Yeah, click on the top of my thing and click over.
Yep.
It was that initial trade with Tracer in the small room here. But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect Cassidy there.
Yeah, I mean, even without Cassidy there, if that Tracer gets a Harmony Orb, like you're not killing her. You're just going to be here for 6 years, so you might as well just go ahead and disengage. Big thing with Doomfist though. So kind of going back to that off angles is he can tank trade. He can dive backline. He can dual DPS. He can do really anything. He is the most flexible dive tank when it comes to target priority. He's got AoE pressure, single target pressure. There's like nothing that you can't do, but it always has to be from an angle. And what that means is if you're going to tank trade, you do it from here, or you do it from here, or you do it from here, right? You're never standing in the open directly because other tanks will be able to do that and do that better. So if you tank trade, if you watch a lot of high-level Doomfist, a lot of it is early tank trading, but it's doing from just 45 degrees, 20 degrees. You get what I'm saying? Kind of playing positions that other tanks can't access nearly as easily.
Yeah, in this first like kind of section of circuit, I struggle with how to set up just because it's...
Yeah, I think your best bet's probably just letting them come to bridge and playing some sort of an angle underneath bridge. So if we kind of go back to where your team was holding, it might be better just to kind of start here, tank tread here, play here, just because your team can actually contribute, whether it's on what you're diving or shooting the ball. Like at least you guys can kind of do something at the same time. Charge your punch, probably get out of here. Yeah, okay. Contest that angle. Force her out. Wait for him to go in. So this is kind of... I think, to be honest with you, you might just be cooked here no matter what you do, just with where your team is. But this is where you have to think about where you're ending and not just about the target that you're diving. So when you come from here, your next step needs to be, okay, where's the next angle with cover? And doorway. Where is that? Right, so it's a doorway. So you don't actually even punch them. You punch the doorway, and you get to here. Then you block, then you slam, then you do whatever. But you do so from a position where your team can follow up, and you do so from a position where you can control the amount of damage that's coming in. Like, that's the big thing with Doomfist is you have to mitigate. You have to control the incoming damage. You have to control the attention. If you can't, because you're either in the middle of the enemy getting shot from the back, so you can't block this, or you're forced to, you have no way to cut off damage, right? So every damage here, you're going to block it or you're going to die. That's it. There's no way to hide from any of it. That's bad. And the only way to control damage is to end, number one, on cover, and number two, somewhere outside the enemy team. That might be way behind them, back here. That may be to the right. That may be to the left. Given what we had here, probably better to go to the left so your team can follow up. But this is never going to work with or without counters. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because that's a habit.
I'm not sure what I was doing there.
Yeah, and that's a habit to get into. Like, I think Doomfist is an interesting character because like playing versus counters can be really irritating. But he's also a character that can be really punishing to his counters. So, especially with the major perk, right? You just kill Cassidy and Zen and Ana. You just kill them. They just die instantly. Whereas characters like Kiri Lucio, they don't kill you and you don't really kill them, or at least they're harder to. So you want to get in these habits regardless of what you're playing. Like if I'm playing versus Kiri Lucio, I'm doing the exact same engage because cover still matters. So like right now. So as you walk out of this choke here, where's your next off angle here? That provides cover. Where can you control the incoming damage while still taking space?
The other side of that tent. Like
you got it. Exactly. Now, with how far they're pushed up, it's probably not here, but yeah, it's going to be somewhere like here. But see, exactly, you control the amount of damage that you're taking, and then you create space. So that's a good empowered punch here. That's a good hinder here. Nice. We love to see that. But this is kind of what we talked about, right? Like, that's not a bad play. That's just a high-risk play. But it's one of those moments where you got to look back and go, did I really create space? I didn't get the mechanical one-shot that I wanted, and now I'm exactly back where I started.
Yeah, and the Discord. I should have anticipated the Discord, because thinking back when it happened, as soon as I got Discorded, like my health just completely depleted, so I couldn't continue on that.
So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm not going to ask you to go to avoid high risk, high reward plays, because you and I both know that that's sometimes just almost impossible. Doomfist is just too much fun. Yeah. So if you're going to do what you just did, get the kill. Get the kill. I want bloodthirst, no half measures. You either commit to the honest approach this fight, or you go all in. Like right now, you get your HP back, you're going to slam here, and then you're going to charge punch, and you're going to murder these people and die for it, right? The problem with this is what? It's a good execution. It's cool. But what do you need to make this work?
Either empowered punch or punching them into a wall.
Yeah, exactly. Or even just block, right? Like even block at this point in time so that you can get out of this alive. Like that's the problem. If you're able to have block there, you build punch immediately again, and then you actually get the kill. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it's just expensive to use both cooldowns and not get anything out of it. And also to keep in mind when you're slam canceling, you're also giving up that whopping 50 damage, which it's not a lot, but I mean it's something, right? I'm in the overhealth, begging them to buff his slam damage. I'm campaigning for it constantly, so we'll see. But yeah, exactly, the overhealth as well. That's unfortunate. Yeah, it was the right play. It was just a little bit unfortunate with the timing.
And then...
Yeah, one of the... Yeah, it's okay. This is fine. If you die here, it's no problem. Okay. Okay. As questions come up, just let me know.
Alright, yeah.
Sure, just kind of wait for your team. Nice. Okay. wouldn't worry too much about that if you got a tracer on you. That's kind of more of a priority, right? So, I mean, you know the rules, right?
So over the ball.
Yeah, well, no, not so much the target as where you were with the target. So if ball's here, he's your priority. If tracer's here, she's your priority. When you turn your attention from an angle into the person fighting you on the angle to back to your team, you end up losing not only the angle itself to the tracer, but also you also lose so much HP for it. You have to deal with this here. You have to deal with this.
Yeah, and that our tracer was coming to help. So
yeah, now you didn't know that. You didn't know that. So we kind of look for objective rules, which is when I'm on left, I deal with left. When I'm on right, I deal with right. That's the rule. There are exceptions. If I see a Widowmaker 1 HP up here, I'm going to leave the angle and kill the Widowmaker, right? There's always an obvious exception. But for the most part, when you've chosen an angle or a space, you must fight what's on that space first. Don't worry about peeling your team. Nice. Huge. Like right now, this isn't a terrible choice, but my first question is what's behind me?
yeah.
You know, like I'm already here. It might be more important for me to deal with this threat here first. Just because this is not only more chance of a kill, it's more a chance of, if anything kills my Weaver, I don't think it's going to be, I have a prediction here. Hang on. Oh wow, he's an idiot. Okay, you saw it though. He should have killed, right? Like that was that you almost let him die. So sure, a little risky with that block. Nice.
Yeah, except I got stuck on low ground. And
yeah, I mean that's one of those moments though where it's like I don't hate it because your team is actively fighting. And you did have block, and you did have slam, and you did have HP. You just didn't quite get exactly what you wanted, right? Yeah. That seems like an educated risk, which I'm always okay with. And look at that. You lived, and they killed ball while you're doing that. What I would say is whenever you go for a high-risk play, just ask yourself, you know, am I doing high-risk intelligently? You know what I'm saying? Like when I rock climb without a safety guard because I'm just like a crack addict, right? Am I making sure that I'm getting a good night of sleep and training for it the night before? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going in ice cold, 50 pounds overweight, you know? So like there's certain things where it's like, yeah, what you're doing is insane. Like this is not for the average tank player, okay? But you are taking the bare minimum, the biggest bang for your buck mitigation. Like in other words, I make sure that whenever I do something really silly, I got my empowered block or my block so that I can make sure that I can get out, or I have my ultimate, right? Or I'm ending on cover, or I'm making sure that I'm not under 300 HP. You get what I'm saying? Those are like the low-hanging fruits here. You might go in without a slam. You might go in with punch and not have a disengage cooldown, but at least I got my block, right? At least there's a good reason for it. So those are kind of the metrics that I want to see for you. Because I do think part of what makes Doomfist fun and an effective tank, is, you know, finding those opportunities. And I think generally limit testing, for lack of a better term, is not a bad thing. We got a real problem with peeling here. You need to hold the space. I mean, this is where you need to be.
It's a wrecking ball thing. I don't know.
It might be. Yeah, because look at how much space that you're giving here, right? And he's again, it's fine peeling a wrecking ball if he's right next to you or within range, or if there's literally nothing else to do. But look at what happens the second that you vacate that angle. You see it?
Yeah.
He immediately fills it, and then this is so bad now because now you have to use 2 cooldowns to get to position that you were in without using any cooldowns. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to skip back, but let's just go for our crack addict rock climber analogy, okay? Was this appropriate? It was risky. Why?
Risky, but my one Genji's blading behind me.
Yep.
2, I have block and ult.
Yep. So yeah, gives me the. I get sure, absolutely.
And I mean, I took damage and I'm still above 300.
Correct. Right. You were full. You had cooldowns. You had ult. Yes. And so that gets the check mark. You killed Dab Master 66. Shame.
Yes.
I assume parry perk. I mean,
yeah. And then I recently started using the overhealth one for perk 1.
Yeah, it's the other one is weird, but okay, I think people. So here's the thing: you don't always need a full reload, but a couple of bullets is nice. But also extra shield health. I don't know. They're both kind of like whatever.
I
To be honest
was
with you.
surprised with how much survivability you get from the overhealth one, because it also
Sure.
resets the decay on your existing overhealth.
Sure. Sure. So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Should you be punching this ball here? Should you be focusing ball here? Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Okay.
But I know what I'm doing, and it's not what coach would approve of.
Well,
Going for
you're going for the
flashy
diag. You're going for the diag. Yeah, you're going for the diag. Now, at first I thought you were backing up because your team was backed up. I don't know what your grandma's doing. Like, she's just completely lost in the sauce, so that's fine. But yeah, I think actually you backing off here is actually okay, because I really don't want to fight her on this choke because your backline is clearly not set up for it. You see it?
Yeah.
So like generally just to kind of fight here if you guys do want to fight. So this is okay actually, but it's accidentally okay.
Yeah.
Now, crack addict rock climber here. Is this appropriate?
Yes, because I'll have slam and ult. HP is a little iffy. But that's also assuming I hit the punch.
Yeah, so just barely okay. The ultimate's your saving grace, really. Because if you didn't have your ultimate, this would be a feed. Yeah. This is not fine.
Now, yeah.
This is not fine. Now, I understand it's not easy with Doomfist Ultimate. It's really poorly balanced because it doesn't heal you fast enough. That's something else I've been asking for. I would love a burst heal in Doom Ult. Just 150 HP immediately, right? So you can actually do things like this. But, yeah, this isn't.
I should have. I think I may have already committed before he popped Transcendence.
Well, that's my point, right? Like, that's my point. Like, I know why, and I understand it's like you want to finish the kill, but if you are going to go in quickly with your ultimate, you need to know if they have a support ult. It's not like, it would be nice. You have to. If you go, you have to. If you have to. Now, if you take your time, then you'll come out full HP, full CDs. It'll be fine. But, risk versus reward. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how that cast ult didn't get canceled, but
Yeah, I mean, hitbox of punch is like massive until you need it, and then it's not massive. So
yeah, I hit
Still,
everybody but Cassidy in that.
Yeah, he was a little bit further back, but it's still good. You didn't have any CDs, but nano, so. Good, right? You didn't have the you didn't have the sleep and the training for it, right? So you got to get out. Ignore ball. Why?
I'm getting shot at from that.
You're getting
room.
shot from two angles right now. Like the Cassie's looking at you, or was, and then obviously again you're right. You need to look at right. So sure. Would have liked block for that before you commit the slam. You get what I'm saying? So sure, and then it wasn't so sure because of the slam afterwards. Now, if you'd hit the shot, maybe, but honestly, I don't know if even if you'd hit the shot, it would be worth. You get what I'm saying? So initial punch.
Yeah, and I was shooting Zen, and I don't know if I even hit Tracer with that punch.
Well, you wouldn't know that you get pulsed.
Yeah.
But even if you don't get pulse here, I think you're probably still cooked. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not judging it based off of whether you should live the pulse bomb or not. Like, it doesn't matter. Okay, you didn't know that was coming. We're looking for principles here, not what would have won this particular fight, right? Principle is that you went in without ult, without block, without punch, on a final slam, on a target that was like a little under half HP, but still a little far away. You understand? So
yeah,
probably better to just sit here, slam if anything, but slam on the edge. Don't commit inside, right?
Yeah,
buy yourself that
I
extra
think
2
I tried to
seconds.
just, like, head slam down.
Yeah, you might have
overhead
tried to do that.
contention.
Yeah, you might have tried to do that. Sure, she's close, so it's fine. Any questions so far?
No, I think we're kind of covering everything. This is me probably setting up for that diag again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now they pull out Orisa, and I think they were on Orisa the rest of the game.
Not good, because I just don't think your team is there for it.
Yeah,
Like
and
they've backed off
94
at full.
gold here.
Yeah, I think they've backed up. So just where you're fighting, you need to really know. This is. I wouldn't care as much, but this is now the second time this has happened, including first fight, where you're taking a fight where your team doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Right. So just don't force it. Like, I'm not even confident of here, right? Like, I have zero confidence that this is going to work with where your team is. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just feels horrible. And so your Genji actually tries to follow up, and then now he gets punished for it because he doesn't have your level of mobility. I mean, now you're forced to go for the high risk, so you might as well. There's no way... Oh my gosh, that is incredible. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, well, I mean, you're running Life Eater on us, so at least you're getting the value from it. Sure. Sure. Well, now you need to go. So, probably slam in here. Yeah, for the angle. Yep.
I think I disengaged.
That was good. Yeah, that was good. That stinks. Yeah. I think I just cancel that one if I'm you.
Yeah, that's another thing that I don't do nearly enough is cancel, especially Empowered Punch.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not going to hit anything.
Mm-hmm. In terms of your general positioning here, I've had no real major problems. You've been playing the angles. You've been going from here and then wrapping to here and then going for backline, then punching out and wrapping. Like, this is kind of what I talk about when I say Doomfist is an off angler, right? Like, you're not static on cart. You're wrapping around and approaching things from different sides and causing distractions. But the exception of how you're managing your cooldowns, it's been pretty good. Now, I will say, to be honest with you, it's a lot easier in circuit because there's just fewer options. So it's a lot easier to take those shorter off angles and dominate with it. But so I want to move on to Eichenwald here. I want to quickly skip it if that works for you.
Yeah, I was just going to suggest that.
So I'm keeping an eye on your risk management based off of the status of your CDs, right? Like, I'm totally fine with the aggression, but you need to earn it with, block, ult, etc. And then crucially, not getting so excited with these diags or with these setups that you're losing where your team is actually taking a fight. Those are the two things I'm looking at right now.
Okay.
Have you seen, anything else beyond that?
Just unnecessary tank trading. You'll see it on this first point as well.
Bro.
I don't know if it's necessarily unnecessary. It may be the sound thing to do.
I'll be honest with you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're totally right. Okay, so I didn't see bad tank trading, ironically, when they were on Orisa. The tank trading that was bad was the obsession with ball peeling when he was like 25 meters away.
Yeah, and that kind of happens with Doom. Well, Doom is like on me trying to get my backline, so I guess it's not as bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it's prevalent on first point.
Yeah, for example, like right here, you should absolutely shoot the Doom. Or you should slam, as soon as you get HP back, slam out to the angle here, shoot the Doom, force block, punch block, right? So, but it's because he's here, right? Like right there, tap punch. Totally fine to tank trade this. The problem is that you need to use your mobility right now and not tank trade here, but tank trade off to the side. Force the damage your way, or if they do keep spamming this way, you're taking 0 damage, so you win tank trade. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even in a Doom mirror, yeah, see, that's poor because you're prioritizing just running at the tank when you don't even have a position first. Like, even if I'm playing coaching a Rhine player, don't stand here, my friend. Get to the corners, tank trade from here, and then move to here, and then move to here, and then move, right? It's the same kind of concept, right? But with Doom, you have even more flexibility. So the problem wasn't the tank trade necessarily, is that you didn't take your angle first, your cover first. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I will say it might be that you're tank trading instead of picking the angle because you're thinking about the tank trade instead of the position, right? Like the solution might still be to stop thinking about the tank trade, right?
Yeah.
Because it feels fun because it's like, I could kill this guy, Yeah, but if he outpositions you, no.
And like when I was set up on that angle, I know he was half HP in that room, but I had a complete line to backline, and he probably would have died if I didn't shoot him.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you
instead
stay
got, like,
here,
ripped
yeah,
out.
exactly. If you stay here and hold this backline honest from this position, then yeah. Because you went back when you didn't even have a cooldown. Like, if he'd had punch and gone flying in here and slammed him, yeah, sure. But you didn't. You just kind of walked and shot him, and then the Life Weaver walks forward, Life Weaver gets the grip. Yep. Good catch. Nice. I don't know what your Mei is doing. That's fine. That was like a reasonable punch. This is just, your team is kind of snowballed a little bit. And sadly, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was me trying to get out, and he was just.
So then this is like really important, right? This slam is so important. You got a couple of angles to take. What are they?
High ground or that room to the right. But I see this
Here.
in
Stage.
AFK type to my Moira to quit sucking Doom block.
So it's like, yeah, you canceled his block, but you're still in a bad spot. You need to go to your next position, right? And then, you know, no comment on that one.
Yeah, Moira sucking Doom block when he's full HP. It's a pet peeve of mine, but yeah. I thought I was lower than I was.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, like, this entire fight has just been a stagger fest, essentially. But it keeps starting poorly because you keep sitting here. Like, you're not taking height, short angle, going to room. You're not taking front line trade from here. You're not wrapping through here. You're just sitting here, right? Like, over and over and over again. Like, even in tank trades, right? You got to abuse the fact that you can split attention. And the reason why that's important is because you're able to pull damage away from the choke. You're able to then take the next step here, and you're able to avoid damage that isn't intended for you, right? Here, it's like, it's just so hard for you to take space because you're just allowing this Doomfist to get these massive AoE pressures over and over and over again. That's fine. It's a little unfortunate. It should be okay. Do you see how much better this is? Like, you could just tap punch this guy into the wall and, like, look at where he's looking.
Yeah.
That's fine. Actually creating space for once. It's fine. Over punch, that's okay though. You should still, yeah. I mean, that's okay. Like it wasn't exactly. Let's be honest. It wasn't cleanly done from you, right? You needed to lead your ult a little better with the direction that he's likely to go because of where the cover is. That's the crucial thing. But at least you got out. You took an angle. You took space. And now your team has space. Now your team might actually win this fight because your team actually has space. If your Moira will press Q. Press Q, Moira. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So for the one time you took an angle, actually on the choke here, and then progress to here, and then progress to here, your team gets out of the choke. I say that and you're still going to lose this fight, but you know. maybe.
I think we win this fight. I just go on this Life Weaver.
Yeah, it's smart, right? I mean, it's sad that you fell off, but it's good. Oh no. Okay, surely this next fight. Okay. Build punch. Yeah, see, even here, right? Like, I'm glad that you built punch, but I think I just step behind the wall, wait for slam, and start starting from scratch, right? Don't cheat the system here, right? Just be patient. Do you understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking about, like, the off-angle tank trade, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different way of approaching things to get more wall slams. I mean, we could literally name off, like, 6 different things that will benefit, right? Denies them cover, forces their tank to turn attention to you, forces the backline to turn attention to you, gives you better vision as to your next sequential step of taking space. So if you want to go into another closer angle, you can move from here to here, but you need that vision to do so, either from high ground or here. It also allows you to get more AoE damage with your slam because if you were to like approach a slam from this direction, you're more likely to catch targets because they're not expecting it to come from that angle. I mean, you know, right? So whatever the case may be. And ultimately, okay, so there, that's good. That's good. Don't chase, right? So this is where the ball thing, right? Where he's too far back. I think you take the position, and what do you do from here?
Go on Lifeweaver.
Yeah, just go on Weaver, right? Slam him, shoot him out. Then if he's really isolated, punch him out. Now, obviously, a peel punch there is really useful if you can do it. You just need to make sure that you hit it.
And then, yeah, here, just go to touch.
Mm-hmm. Well, you actually caught him. Nice. Oh my goodness gracious. That is stressful. So the key thing is in these OT moments is just to stay locked in on one target, right? Like whatever you do, find the one target and kill that target.
Yeah, like the bright side, I was locked in on Junkrat the whole time.
That's good.
There's a scenario of where I could have canceled punch, didn't miss it, but still kind of followed up.
Nice. Because it's really easy just to kind of do generic pressure without like actually securing a kill. But ultimately, if their heals are good, that the generic pressure isn't as useful. Okay. He catches your Tracer. That's crazy. When you're working versus, you know, a Doomir like this, where there aren't really any counters on either side of the thing, it becomes a game of inches, right? Like where you take 50 less damage than he does. You know, you force their Lifeweaver's pull, he doesn't, right? It becomes just the little things, right? All those little things. I respect the greed with the empowered punch. That was funny. But I'll be honest with you, mate. Like looking at this mechanically, where are you at right now?
I'm fluctuating between like Plat 1 and I hit Diamond 4.
Okay. I see diamond mechanics. I really do. I don't see high diamond mechanics, but I do see low diamond mechanics. Because when I saw your form, I saw Plat, and I was like, this doesn't look like Platinum Doomfist that much. So it doesn't shock me that you're touching diamond from a mechanical side of things. The inconsistency comes from the way that you're sequentially, consciously, honestly taking space and just little cooldown management things, right?
Yeah.
Like I can.
So when
go
I
ahead.
filled out the form, I was kind of like lower Plat, and then played a lot last season and was able to hit like that Diamond 5, but fall out.
Yeah, I mean it shows. It shows.
So then, yeah, this season has been better in the sense where I've kind of just been back and forth between Diamond 5, Plat 1, and even hitting like Diamond 4. So
Nice.
like I've been winning games in Diamond, which was nice. And that's kind of like the same spot I was in when I first got done coaching, where I was like kind of able to hit Diamond, but not really get over the hump. So yeah, that's kind of in the same spot there.
Good stuff. Sure. I mean, he's close, so fine. I'm just going to kind of zoom through here because this is just like kill chasing. This is fine as long as like you know that you're basically just getting free cart push, like you're not actually winning a fight.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just if I see an opportunity to safely disengage this without burning my ultimate, I might do that too. Like, for example, like right now, I'd probably just bail. You know, because you're not likely to get a kill anymore. Might as well just take the free cart push that you've got. But knowing you...
I punch in and all.
You know, again, this is just like, okay, crack addict rock climber, right? Like, I don't mind this if you saw something. I'm going to be real. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't even see Susie there.
You didn't see Susie, you didn't see Grip. They're not one. You know, you don't have any help really here besides the Tracer, who's just not really on a good angle, right? I just don't see it. So this is kind of where I see...
I don't remember what I do here. Like, we could be optimistic and say I
You disengage, yeah. But this is the difference, and I love Quaked, but this is kind of like the get Quaked on, where it's like you're looking to find value instead of letting it happen to you. Instead of like basically letting the opportunities come to you and always take them, because I'm with you. Like I'm not exactly a Doomfist aficionado, right? Like I mess this stuff up all the time, but also I try to not force bad engagements if it's not there. If I see an opportunity for higher tower reward, I'm gonna go for it. Like the voices are just gonna tell me to go, right? But I don't know who's speaking to you here. You know, like that's kind of the difference between where you are right now and where you need to be. I don't see the upside for this. I don't see the window of opportunity. and so you're going to probably die at the very best, get a trade. Like, I look at that and I just say, no way. Should never happen. And you know it.
Yeah.
Right, and it won't happen in Platinum, and it won't happen at Diamond. It will happen occasionally, but that's gonna fail enough times to lose you games. That being said, nice mechanics, you know? Good stuff. The practice...
Did win a fight, and
yeah.
got basically the card pushed all the way.
By the way, again, you're on an angle with where your team is, so take tank trade, totally fine. He's right on top of you, so I guess quite literally right now, but so this is totally fine. Healing Seed. Still can't believe that is a real ability in the year of our Lord 2025. People just pick it because the other side of it is way better, you know? The 10 basically permanent healing per second is really broken, but it's really funny. I actually won a fight yesterday to do that Healing Seed. True story.
Really?
Yep.
I haven't came across it too often.
Yep.
Even on my team.
Mm-hmm.
Or I said specifically on my team, I should say.
I can't remember if it was Zarya, Junker Queen, or Doomfist. I don't remember which one. It was like a week ago. And I was like really low, and I caught it, and I got a kill because I was like able to get... It's like 250 healing or something like that. It's really funny. So, frontline tank trade. Where are you likely to be playing here? Give me the ballpark.
That corner to the right.
You got it. Don't take tank trades anywhere else than here. I think it's really only here, really, because what's the problem with the angle here?
It's too far.
Too far.
I was gonna say a little bit up, like on the actual corner, to go around to the last push, but Ana still has sight on me.
And then you can improve from here, and then you can rotate to here or here, and as the fight go. But yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I was trying to do something, a diag or something. I saw it right when I was setting up for that
I knew
fight,
it. I was like,
me looking up, and I was like, oh, I know. I'm gonna
so this is I guess where I think this is where I'm missing the Doomfist gene, because when you looked up, I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know there was a hole in the roof, and you're looking for diag. So I guess you and I are just built differently. Yeah, I mean, this is the problem. It's like this is just offensive to me. Like, why are they allowed to walk up to this space? Why aren't you choking them out here or here? Like, this is just, it's ridiculous, right? It's like, this is another one of those moments where it's like, I think it's fine if you're fishing for a diag here, but like, this is a habit that you're going to need to keep an eye on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, and I've also never even done that diag before. I don't even know if it's possible.
Sure. So here's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be the boring PE teacher that's going to yell at you for trying to bend the rules and playing Calvin ball. You need to play volleyball, do exactly as I say, right? But also, I get it. I mean, at some point, you're going to have to try. If you want to be that guy, you're going to have to experiment with things like this. But also, you know, I am being paid to tell you this is why you're not Diamond 3 or Diamond 2, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, your call here. I mean, Quaked, I think, knows that obviously knows that he loses games because of how he plays, right? Quaked is not Zebra for that aspect, right? So.
Yeah, and like I was watching like Cardi Fan the other day, and he went for a diag on third point Blizzard World that I've hit before, and it's, you know, it's cool, but then like he missed his punch, or he hit the diag, didn't hit the punch, so he didn't get ult, died, and then almost lost the game.
Yeah. That's like, how it goes, right?
At the high levels, if it doesn't work, then it can definitely cost you.
Well,
so
they're just...
I mean,
go ahead.
Going back to like the start of that, even if I did want to go for that, I still should have set up on that angle, and then if I wanted to use both cooldowns to try and hit it, like whatever, I'm still denying that space and not letting him push up.
I think the most important question you can ask yourself is, what are the useful techs? What are the useful rollouts? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's kind of outside of like the occasional double cooldown diag off the roof. Like usually, like I'll play like either like downward diags from high ground so I still have slam and hit a punch on teams, or you know, upward diag off cart or other things to where I don't have to burn slam to do it.
Right.
The ones with both cooldowns are cool, but they're definitely fewer and don't you don't have as much opportunity to
Well, it
do
also
them,
depends
so,
on where you're going and where you're coming from too, as well,
Yeah.
right? Like, like a diag here might be useful, but it might be too easy to see coming. If it ends
Yeah.
you on a high ground there, like where the Ana was, if that was your intention, then that might be worth scouting out though, because that's a pretty darn good position to be in. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a nice high ground. But the question is,
Yeah.
does that get you there? So when you're practicing these things, I think a good habit to get into is find what's the fluff that actually is useful to know and fun to do. What's the fluff that just isn't that good? Do you get what I'm saying? Because you could kind of split Doomfist into a certain percentage where some of the fluff just isn't all that good, and some of it is. Now, if you look at a fluff that's not all that good and you really want to do it just because it's fun, knock yourself out. But you got to be honest with yourself. And they're just feeding punch like crazy.
I think I ate Disruptor there, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. I'm also wondering sometimes, so one habit I see from you a lot is you slam cancel into punch a lot. It's fine. But when you do so, you're doing so because you're expecting to get the punch kill or the shots afterwards, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if you look at this here. I guess if you're expecting to get the punch kill here, it's okay. But like, I would keep a careful eye on whenever you slam punch cancel, because if you slam here, she slides off, you still have punch. You get me?
Yeah.
So you slam, you shoot, she disengages, and then you still have empowered punch. Just something to consider. I don't like this. It's a nice punch, and you got the kill, but I don't like it. Why?
Junkrat was right.
That was your threat. That was your threat, right? You deal with this. This is the higher percentage kill. You understand what I'm saying? It's not that I don't want you to peel. It's that this is your higher percentage kill, and this is my guy's just, and this is kind of like what you need to be dealing with, right? This is just inconvenient and inconsistent. Deal with the threat first.
Yeah.
The threat to you.
I almost died from that Junkrat anyway.
Correct. Like the punch there in the Doom, it's fine. Why? Because he's right there, right? That's the difference.
But I shouldn't have been there in the first place.
I think it's the parry perk that keeps surprising you with how fast you're charging punch because of the no damage reduction.
So nice.
I sadly think that's going to get nerfed today. That my gut is saying that that's going to get nerfed.
I'm okay with it being nerfed in either the charge it gets or the duration to start, because like a full second's kind of a long time.
Doesn't really feel like a parry.
100% charge, but I do like it gives counterplay, so Orisa doesn't, or Ana or Cassidy, they're not just block. Let me dump my cooldowns and brainlessly.
I think what you just named is the two things that are like the duration and or the damage reduction. I think if they're going to nerf it, it's going to be those two things, almost certainly. But yeah, I agree with you. Okay. Sadly, I was listening to what you're saying. I don't remember what happened with the ultimate there. I'm kind of want to go back and look though, because I think that was important. So we're going to gamble here. Well, hang on. Should I gamble? Because codes might be wiped. Okay, I'm not going to gamble.
I can pull it up. And
oh, yeah, that's right. You have the VOD. Yeah. Actually, I could do that. I'm dumb. Yeah, you have it right here. Let me do it myself here. Because I felt like that was an important moment there. You get the kill on Soj. There you go. The big blizzard. There's life grip. Oh, yeah. See, it's another one of those moments where you go for the slam cancel. I knew it. You slam canceled without empowered punch up under the Ana. Do you see that?
I'm a few seconds behind.
It's at like 835. Yeah. So you slam cancel without empowered punch, and there's no life grip here. So you just need to get the kill here. So get the slam damage, get the shots, punch cancel your shots into the wall, or just drop in Pursuer. And then honestly, I know maybe there's a concern of Sleep Dart here, but I'm not even sure that I'm scared of Sleep Dart either. Like you need to kill this person. Like it has to happen. And then you short punch. I guess he has life grip again. I don't know. I look at that and I'm like, that just feels like an inappropriate use of the slam cancel right there. Like that Ana must die. Like there's just no excuse for her not dying. You know what I'm saying? Even with sleep dart. So then let her sleep you. Who cares? You're in a safe angle. Use the ultimate. I mean, use your block, I guess, even there. Or I guess you didn't have it at that point. But I look at that from both like rushing your ultimate. And in the slam cancel and the punch, it's like there's just not really an excuse for her not dying. Would that have changed the result? I don't know. I'm starting again, by the way. But I do look at that and like you want that one back.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm too greedy with my ult and try and like CD max and get every bit of value out of my ultimate or out of my cooldowns before ulting. And then other times like that, I just kind of ult way too early. I have
yeah. The greed is so important, right? Like you said, it's kind of like the hubris that you have before the ultimate that feels so good, right? Like you could just do anything that you want, and you need to, right? Because it's not the most useful ultimate. So if you're not utilizing that aspect of it, you're missing out. I knew you would do that. See, like even here, right? Slam up, shoot, block, punch, right? Like you don't even need to slam cancel this here, really. You can if you'd like to, but maybe that slam damage, maybe the shields, maybe the shots afterwards are more important than the punch itself. I don't. Either way, like you would need to hit that one. You had the right idea, though. Definitely getting up there is important. Yeah, I think this fight's cooked.
Yeah.
It just is. It's another one of those moments where it's like a lot of individual moments where, like, in theory, you could have finished that kill, you could have finished that kill, you could have finished that kill, but it's death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? You get everyone to half HP, but nobody below that. It just doesn't force anything, right? And Lifeweaver can just sit back there and press right click over and over and over and over again, and that's it. Okay. I do wonder, I want your thoughts on this one. If slam cancel on the punch there on the junk is appropriate because it gets you shooting faster and stuns his primary fire. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, one, you kind of keep the momentum.
Right.
So I think that's kind of part of it. Why I do that sometimes is just so I have that momentum going up, so I make sure I get up there. Even though in both of those cases I didn't get up there.
Yeah, but the intention, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also kind of like you said, one, you get your slam back faster, which could help, but also getting those shots. I'm kind of curious on, I didn't watch this first part back of the defense, but it was kind of like the tables were turned, how kind of we were getting held at this stroke the entire time attacking. It was kind of the exact opposite.
So then you guys got ran over or you held them?
We held them.
Yeah.
Or I guess it was the same for us.
Yeah. Because, I mean, your comp is pretty good. Like May here, Tracer, Onabrig, Doomfist, and then their comp is just kind of trash. Like Doom's fine, Kiriko's fine if she knows how to angle, but attack Junk, attack Ashe into what you're playing is going to be pretty rough. Crack addict rock climber, you know?
Yeah.
You don't have any scouting on comp, you don't have block, and you're punching like 30 plus meters. There's just no way.
I do that a lot.
Yeah, there's just no way. So then correct it, right? So you have empowered punch here. Awesome. Make it happen. What do you do? Where do you go?
I mean, this angle isn't bad.
It's not bad.
It's kind of far, but it's just kind of blindly, like I'm charging it before I even know.
Sure. So from this angle, the solution is to just wait. That's the number one solution. Okay, so but let's say that you wanted to force something a little bit sooner. Okay, so then what?
Go through the room by where that junk is.
Yeah, walk into the junk. Is it a risk? Yeah, but this is also a risk. But at least this one makes a little bit more sense, right? If junk doesn't pay attention and walks to here, and you tap punch here, he's going to die.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of what I'm looking for here. It's like, it's not just, stop taking risk. It's like, okay, if you're going to take a risk, at least do this. At least close the distance. At least have block. You didn't even have block there, right? That's kind of what I'm looking for.
I think my thought process was empowered punch. If I hit it, then like keep going. If I miss, slam out.
Sure. Sure.
which is fine. But if Doom would have punched my slam,
Then you're dead.
Dead.
Right.
Yeah.
There's always something that can go wrong, right? It's not always foreseen, but this guy. Tap punch that. It's okay. A little slow, but it's the right idea. Okay. Sure. I mean, you're just kind of stuffing the angle, right? Like, you've got pressure from your Tracer on the right side, you're on main, and you're stuffing the angle. And even though you're mechanically misplaying, you're positioning on the right angle, and so it's just like, the junk can't do anything. Sure. I mean, at least you had information, right? You still don't have block, but... Nice. Love that rollout. You know, there used to be a way, I don't know if you can anymore, where you could symmetric teleport onto a Mei wall up here and make the flip over the top of the map.
I don't know.
I don't know if you can do that anymore. Oh, gosh. What is he doing? But see, even if you miss this one, you're not going to die if you end here. You know? This is okay. You're still on the angle, right?
Yeah.
It's good. Okay. Because you guys are holding here, I'll call out some stuff as I see it, but we'll kind of go at a faster pace here to be respectful of your time. I saw the intention there. I saw it. It's all right. I'm actually surprised that you went for them not cast, but I guess it works. And you have your ultimate here too, right? So... Oh...
I accidentally landed on the pole. But
Honestly, sure. The position was okay. Sure. Greedy, but you're up a few, so maybe. Oh, that punch scared me. Okay. Maybe you're okay? Okay. Keep zooming forward. If any questions come up, just let me know, but obviously kind of just rolling. Now, that was interesting. That was one of the first few times we've seen where you actually looked at a Doomfist on your backline and you're like, eh.
Yeah,
so that's good.
So
that was
I
good.
want to say this game was kind of earlier in the in my session, so I was still kind of getting the ball rolling on my mechanics. And now that my mechanics felt a lot better at this point, maybe it's just because of defense on this choke made it kind of easier that I was just kind of more confident in their backline.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is kind of one of the notes I made. It seems like my mechanics kind of take a while to just kind of get going, even though I do warm up.
Yeah.
But my mechanics itself are just kind of not there for a while. Takes a few games to actually get like feeling good.
That's fine.
But then, like kind of towards the end, my mechanics just kind of carry me when, you know, like game sense or mental isn't there.
So that's probably
kind of an interesting note.
When do you play during the day?
Probably like 3, 4 to probably 6, 7.
So you're not like exhausted, right? It's not like you're starting at like 6 or 7 like a lot of people do, right?
No.
So physical energy isn't really the limiting factor. It's more along the lines of how warm am I? So, to be honest with you, you could just consider some different warm-up routines, right? Like, go into Vaxis, shoot some bots, punch around for 2 minutes, try deathmatch, right? And get your... I mean, Doom is kind of bad in deathmatch for a tank. Give it a shot, see how it goes. I don't know. Or just bite the bullet and say the first rank game is just going to be kind of messy. It doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, and I usually make up for it, and it just kind of... It is what it is. But then, like, I know... Like when I was going through Zen, it was like, okay, warm up in queue, Vaxta, get going, and like I kind of felt good the whole time. And after like, you know, around the 3-hour mark, I feel my mechanics are bad, my game sense is bad. Like I'm just kind of like over it and not playing well.
Yeah,
but with Doom, it's kind of different, where it's like, until my mechanics start to falter, I could like keep going. And it's just even if my mental isn't like great, my mechanics will just kind of like carry me even longer than I anticipated.
I get that. Maybe the way to approach it then is to change up like how you're practicing right now, because I think like if you want to talk about like how would you actually implement some of the feedback that we've been given, like with being a little bit more calculating, a little bit more thoughtful with your positioning and your cooldown trades when you're taking risks. Putting a lot more emphasis on that in the first couple of games might be good, not just from a perspective of like it's something that you need to practice, but also because it allows your mechanics to warm up in a more safe environment.
Yeah.
Right? Where you're not having to force all these really silly things that, first off, aren't smart. Second off, you're not mechanically warm enough to do anyway. You know?
Yeah.
Play honest Doomfist. Be, I'm not saying passive conservative, but just be smart, calculated, focus on the feedback that we give you. And then as things go on, the last couple of games, if you just want to get silly with it and clip farm, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe something to experiment with. Just see how it goes, Just see how it goes. Like treat yourself like a science experiment or or a professional athlete, right? Where it's like, let's try this, let's try that. Let's just experiment with this approach or that approach. Just see how it goes.
I feel like I subconsciously do that. Like
you probably do. Yeah.
Just kind of play more passive.
Yeah. But I guess instead of passive, put more emphasis on being on the feedback that's going to allow you to do that. For example, if I'm playing Zenyatta, I wouldn't necessarily work on a mechanical habit like trigger discipline, right? On my first game or two, I might worry more about my positioning, and then as my mechanics warm up, I can worry a little bit more about my trigger discipline. So it's not just what I'm doing, but how I'm practicing specifically. Right, so you would go into this and you'd focus on like, okay, for any risks that I take, I always have like a cooldown or an ultimate to get out, or I want to always be taking tank trades or DPS trades from an angle. Focus on these short angles, right? That would be good. That is tragic. Man, you are a little sloppy with your ult placement.
Yeah.
I don't mind you landing on bridge. I think bridge is good, but like.
I wanted to
chipping
be
the mercy
like, in that doorway.
Yeah. But like maybe even chipping the mercy.
Out instead of having to walk.
Nice. You're gonna kill 6. Here we go. Right. Oh, disaster. Okay. Okay. Nice. Obviously just kind of stuff the choke from an angle here. Tracers. Okay. Nice. This is one of those moments, right? It's like you built punch, you use slam, you've used punch, you have no block, you have no... It's like, the thing is, it's not so much that like, oh, you're going to die for that every single time. It's not just about the death. It's about the expense of, now you don't have empowered punch. Now you don't have the choke. Now you don't have the angle anymore. For what? Just praying that they stood still, right? That's just not worth it to me.
Yeah, that was just trying to get flashy 2K.
Right. So then slam out to here and get your 2K from here, right?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. Like every time I say that, I always feel a little bad because I'm like, it is fun, but without block there, you're not likely to get. Because with block there, you miss the punch, but then you block and you get the punch again. Maybe you get it the second time, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the way that I look at it. Sure. You have your block, it's no problem. Nice. Nice. Let's watch one more fight, and then we'll take some notes here. Big plays.
Something dumb here.
No. You fall off here. You know what? You had your block. You had your block. I assume that you were expecting Riptire there.
Yeah, and I had no idea where he was at.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. All right, we get one more here. 5K off the map. Here we go.
No.
No. It's 5. 4K.
You get this part as well.
Wait, that's actually kind of useful. Wait, did you? Oh, I didn't quite get it. Sorry, it was a good try. It was a good try. Okay, so
Yeah, I tried to punch out, and then they were up there, and it's just like, oh.
yeah, it happens. Okay, so notes with Doom here. What do you got? Even just a couple of habits. It doesn't have to be like entire revolutionary playstyle change. I think you already have a general idea of what you ought to do or how you ought to do it. It's more about cleaning things up, right? What needs to be cleaned up? How would you do it?
Forcing when I'm taking any duel, make sure it's from an off angle. Even if it's a tank trade, DPS trade, doesn't matter. Just make sure I'm on some sort of angle.
Right.
And have cover. Another thing is just, slamming into the open and
correct
being too far away from cover.
Okay, what else?
Pay attention to slam canceling with punch. Again, it may have just been a that game thing. It probably doesn't happen as frequently, but it does happen. So pay attention to that. Ult placement, just a small thing. And then making sure I have either cooldowns, HP, or ultimate when going for high risk plays. If I am going to burn slam and punch, make sure I have adequate health and block or ult.
I think that's mostly it, really. I put one little thing on the ball because I think when it came to the only other thing I'd say is like when you're on an angle, deal with the angle. Just don't peel back as much with your target priority. So like basically your target priority was sometimes bad because it wasn't convenient, whether it was with the wrecking ball or sometimes even going back, like for example on the Sojourn, when there's a Junkrat right next to you, third point attack, right? But that was something that didn't happen very often, so I'll kind of ignore it, but just do keep that in the back of your mind. A lot of things to work on here. Obviously, you remember how it was back in the day. Just one thing at a time, one thing per game, per day, however you want to practice it. Can change it up depending on how you're feeling or depending on where you are in your warm-up. But, okay, any questions?
Just for, like, hero-specific matchups.
Yes.
Roadhog and Zarya. The Roadhog specifically, because he...
Positional checks.
When they swap Roadhog, they're just constantly running you down.
Positional checks, Roadhog is. Cover check, right? So heavy emphasis on angles. So like abusing his lack of mobility badly by just making him chase you. And then really important that you play cover. Like really important. Like you can absolutely dumpster a Roadhog swap. Like really badly. But you have, basically any mistake that you make gets punished. So very high risk, high reward for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then with Zarya, just the bubbling backline on all my engages.
Same thing. Bubble's fine. Have your disengage rod available. Take the front lane trade with her on an angle. Punish her lack of mobility. Build charge. Basically, Doomfist's matchup versus every immobile tank is pretty much the same. Abuse their lack of mobility by harassing their backline from safe angles or harassing them from a safe angle. Whether that's Orisa, Zarya, Roadhog, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, there isn't really an easy solution, but like if it's bubble on backline, well, okay. No bubble for Zarya, right? So she can't take as much space to do as much with the charge that she has here.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense in theory. It's just like in practice, it doesn't really happen. I just feel like the Zarya doesn't get punished as much when all the bubbles are going on backline.
Yeah, I mean, she might just be overtuned right now.
Yeah, and I think part of it is just back to the not canceling punch when I need to.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not going to hit it.
Yeah.
And I still do it anyways. I'll do that in the Zarya bubble, and then it's just bad for everybody.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions?
No, I think that kind of addresses everything.
All right, mate.